Yaakov, how are you?
Doing well, thank you, Fadi.
Yaakov, first thing, I want to thank you for agreeing to talk about what we're gonna about to talk about. I know it sometimes might not be easy for you to talk about that, but it's a very unique experience, and I think that a lot of people will really benefit from it. Okay, so let's just put the frame around that. So you have been basically a victim of a scam, correct?
Form of a pump and dump scam or a vampire stock scam.
Correct. And we'll talk about that with the details for the benefit of people. How much money did you lose?
Close to 500,000.
US. Okay. So
Yeah.
obviously this is very important for people to hear about that because as I told you, you're not the first person I hear about that. Before you, there were two people that I know from my circle that lost money. One lost 150, the other lost 350, and all of them are quite intelligent people. They're not stupid people at all. One of them is a university professor, you're a business owner, you are a street smart guy. Like it's not that easy to fool you guys. So tell us in detail what happened with the steps, and I'll have some questions as we go. So tell me, how did you first get in contact with these guys?
Okay, well, first I just want to tell the folks out there that I've been trading for 5 years. I had certain kind of protocols set up when I was trading regarding how much I invested in a particular trade and the type of stocks overall that I was investing in. And I had done overall very well for myself following some of these trading rules, right? And everybody should have rules for themselves and they trade that they follow, and that makes it better to enter in trades and exit out of trades based on what your practices are, right? And each person can have their own kind of set of practices. Not everybody has to follow the same exact rules. You figure out what works for you, what fundamentals you look at, what profit areas are good for you, when stocks go down, when you want to sell them, and so on. So that's just first off, I want to say that to everybody, have your own rules and follow them. And so this is kind of a cautionary tale about not doing that, honestly. And so here's what was going on. So I was seeking more interaction with other traders through finding maybe some groups to trade with. And what was going on starting around, I'd say, end of last quarter of 2024 was I was getting a lot of solicitations on Facebook, 'cause that's where I mostly was, I mostly am on, for these trading groups, right? And the trading groups were supposedly run by different types of analysts or investors, and they would use legitimate people's profiles and names, and they would have kind of like, AI videos made with these people, stating like this person from this wealth management company is starting a private trade group. And oftentimes they kind of covered it up with the idea that they would want people to follow them and do these trades, and they'd help mentor you and support you, and the group would make money. And ultimately, the idea was that you'd sign up with their wealth management company because you'd make so much money, kind of
So it
situation.
was a free service, free invite to a WhatsApp group.
Free to invite. So after probably seeing, 200 of these, I found one that looked like the stock analyst, the wealth manager person who was running it. Looked legitimate. I actually looked them up on LinkedIn even and saw their business, and found the headquarters of their company and stuff like that and
So
saw his profile.
he has a profile on LinkedIn as part of
Yeah, he
this.
has a legitimate profile on LinkedIn. The person really exists. Their company is 100% a company. And you could even like look them up on their business filings and stuff like that. Their company was 100% real. There was, a dozen or more employees of the company. They managed investments for people. And yeah, so to me, it looked like, okay, maybe this person really was out there trying to build a group of people, help them invest a little bit, and then ultimately turn them into clients
Yeah,
in their wealth management
looks good.
division, right?
Yeah, okay, looks good.
So it all
Yeah.
seemed legit. So I joined this group, and they're the analyst, and then they're this moderator for the group, right? And there was about 30 to 40 people in the group. People were talking and chatting back and forth. They were talking about, investments they're making, stock purchases and trades and stuff like that. And what would happen is the moderator or the analyst would talk about a particular stock. Let's say we were talking about APLD, we talked about HIMS, we talked about um, Hood. And so they would say, okay, here's what we're going to do, guys. We think that at the time, we'll talk about Hood, right? Hood was trading at about $38. They said, hey, if Hood moved above 40, it's going to be a good entry. Let's all buy Hood at 40, and then we'll have a target sell point at 48, right? And so what we would do is that we would see the volume tick up on Hood, right? You can go onto any platform and watch it do what it's doing. And then it crossed over Hood in the morning. We'd say, okay, guys, it's crossing 40, volume spiking. Let's go ahead and buy. Then we'd all buy Hood, and then we'd post our purchases of Hood onto the group. So you take a screenshot, right? And let's say you bought 500 shares and it'd say, okay, Joe bought 500 shares of Hood at $40 and Samantha bought
And they would ask you to take a screenshot and put it with a pushy for it.
right. They wouldn't push you. They would put you put up there. And that way at the end of the day, it would say, okay, as a group, we bought 8,000 shares or 10,000 shares at an average purchase price of $40. And then we'd go ahead and 3 days later, the stock would hit 48. We'd sell and you'd post your sells. And then we'd say, okay, as a group, we made, $53,000, right? Out of an average sell. And so I joined the stock group, um, at the end of January, right? So I watched these ads go on for about 3 months. I finally joined the stock group end of January.
That's January 2025.
2025, right? And so I didn't do any actual trades for about a month. I just watched the group kind of operate, and I had to watch people talk back and forth. And the moderator would ask me if I wanted to get involved in a deal. She would side message me and ask me what I was trading, and we talk about my philosophy on trading, and they would give me free analysis on stocks that I had nothing to do with the group that I was personally looking at. And what was interesting was the analysis wasn't oftentimes super amazing or deep, but it sometimes reinforced what I was already seeing and what I was already thinking. So that was obviously good, and it felt like it was giving me confidence about what they were kind of offering and about how I was looking at some of the stock trades. And so they probably did an analysis on 10 to 12 stocks of my own personal trades that had nothing to do with the group on the side. So they were kind of helping and supporting me in some way, right? I thought. And so about the second month I was in the group sometime, there started to be discussion of what they called their cash cow stock, right? And now I'd watched them already trade at this point six or seven stocks in the group, maybe five, six, seven stocks in
And
the group.
people were posting profits.
People posting profits. I personally made the profit on Hood. I made profit
You
on
made
him.
profit on yourself.
Yeah, I
Okay.
made profit on HIMS, APLD, Hood. So I probably made, and I did small trades, a couple hundred, 50 shares, 100 shares, 200 shares, but I probably was up profit overall about $8,000 in 3 trades in 6 weeks.
And that boosted your confidence in them, is that they are
100%. No, no,
you
and
make money
yeah,
with them.
and the moderators talking to me privately and going over, giving me analysis on side deals I'm doing in stocks, and kind of talking about family stuff, right? And so they're kind of like befriending you and trying to like
Okay.
whatever, and try to like hear your theories on how you look at stocks and investments and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
try to
so,
befriend you like what I do. Not a scam. Okay, go ahead.
yeah. So then they start talking about this cash cow stock. And what they're saying is that, 2 or 3 times a year, they find a stock that they really think is going to, go up, 100 to 200% in a short period of time.
Okay.
And in the group, there's, what I'd say was, you know, about a third were people who were saying they had been around for a while with this stock trading group, and they were posting pictures of the previous cash cow stock showing they made 50, $70,000. And so there's a lot of what you want to call FOMO kind of going on with the new guys. They're like, wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing how good you did last time. They're like, yeah, you don't know how Brent, who the analysis, like, dude, Brent's a genius. Like, he totally hooked me up, like, changed, like, my whole situation, like, all this kind of stuff. And they're showing
So do you
pictures of this
believe,
previous
like now
stock.
that you know what you know, do you believe that these guys were legitimate or AI bots or what exactly?
Everything with AI bots in the group, Fadi. Every person
So
but
the people who are sharing were AI bots.
except for the moderator, right? And maybe one person who I think was the moderator just opening an account. Everybody was a bot. And when I say a bot, I'm talking about they were having conversations when I wasn't even in the group. You can go back and go up the chain, and people were talking about stuff, not just about stocks. People were talking about family stuff, just joking around, making funny comments about things, right? Just all it was like a normal chat group with all sorts of just stuff going on that, yes, it was about stocks, but it was like community kind of based a little bit.
Okay,
Um,
got
and
it.
so not one
Who would
person
who
was
would
real
think that all of these are AI bots? Okay, which what
for
was
months.
yeah, what was the stock that you were involved in?
So what they were talking about was a stock called JYD, and I want to kind of set the stage for people about how perfect the situation was. JYD is a Chinese domestic shipping company, okay? And at the time, okay, JYD had actually gotten some new contracts internally domestically that Yahoo reported on. Okay, so they were a legitimate company, and they were worth about $1.2 billion dollars or so going up. And Trump had been playing with a lot of the Chinese, with a lot of tariff, and Chinese imports in particular were going to be tariffed. And so there was a lot of discussion about what was going to happen with the Chinese shipping companies who were originally shipping outside their country. Now they need to figure out more shipping internally inside their country to continue their income, so to say. And so it kind of laid the stage for why JYD was going to grow because they were getting more domestic shipping lanes opened up because their international shipping was being shut down because some of the trade situations going on with Trump and
They're
the
saying
tariffs.
there was a thesis of why would we invest now? There was a
Right,
story.
exactly. And on top of that, it did show on Yahoo that JYD had signed three new contracts for major shipping domestically, right? So there was some technical analysis you could do of the company showing that, yes, this small cap company was growing. And so on the charts, what you saw was over the previous like 60 days, 90 days, the stock kind of crossing up and kind of just going up like this a little bit, making a nice incline up, going from, a dollar, dollar and a half, kind of climbing into the $3.50 range. And so they said, look, when this stock starts to cross into like the $5 range, it's going to start looking probably pretty good to invest in. You're seeing volume increase going up. And so
So question,
basically,
when was that? Was that in March, April?
yeah, so that was last 10 days of March. This whole
Last 10
thing
days of
started
March.
generating.
Okay, got it. And okay, and like
So
price.
around March 26th, I bought in 26th, 27th, 28th. I did like three tiered buy-in. And what was happening at that same time that I was already doing on my own was a lot of tech stocks were coming down quite a bit, right? And so
So
what I was
how much was it? Was it $300 at that time, something like that?
what the
The
stock,
GYD. Yeah,
JYD shot up to about $5.50. So it
five
went
and a
from
half.
about a dollar and a half, a dollar over about 3 months up to about $5.50.
Okay, I'm just trying to pick up the thing. It is JYD, Jayud Global Logistics. Is
Yeah,
that it?
yeah.
Okay, I'm sharing with it, but it's giving me much higher prices. So have a look at
Yeah, well, the
this.
stock recently did a reverse split.
No, no. Okay. Okay. So anyway, so at that time, are you looking at the chart? At that time, it
Yeah.
wasn't $300. It was much lower than that.
Yeah. No, at that time, the stock was, if you will, a proverbial penny stock. It started off at almost, it was like a dollar, and moved its way
Okay,
up.
got it. But you went
Um,
in on March 26th, correct?
Yeah, so on March 26th, I went into the stock roughly at
Okay.
about $5, 570, I think, 568.
Okay.
And then I
Mhm.
made uh different buy-ins kind of going up, averaging in it till about 650, right?
Okay. So
And
somewhere, okay, you went up as you go down. Okay, got it.
yeah, so then literally overnight, so the stock, so what the deal was we were setting our stop losses.
Mm.
And then we were going to take profit when it crossed over at a minimum $10. And so what happened is set our stop loss so that when it would cross over basically $8, like it would trigger our stop loss, and anything would come back down, we'd sell it basically. Well, the day it hit 798, it closed, and we're like, okay, so tomorrow it's going to cross the $8 mark. And literally that night after trading hours, so I couldn't, because I only have a ability to trade during the normal trading hours. It crashed. It sold off 90%, literally at like 6 p.m. my time on the West Coast.
So they
Uh,
dumped it.
they dumped it. And so, yeah, so I basically, lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in that. I couldn't exit the trade. Normally, so you don't see you see a stock sometimes lose value overnight a little bit, but you never see it lose 90% like that,
Yeah.
right?
Plus 95% in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I basically was able to exit my stocks at about between 90 cents and a dollar, and I was in them for, $6 and some change.
Got it. And what happened after this? Like people, not people, it seems like you and very few people were legitimate. What did they do with the WhatsApp? Did they close it? They comment to
Still
you? What?
open. I could
It's still,
still, in theory, probably try to. The group itself is not active anymore, but that I could, in theory, go on there maybe and type, and it might re-engage some of the bots to try to start
the
talking.
bots are still there. Okay.
Yeah,
Do you have any um, address for them, phone number? There was the main communication, just the WhatsApp. That's it.
yeah. So I mean, I called this guy Brent, who's the analyst. I called his company many times. They just told me sorry they couldn't help me. They don't know anything about it. Um, JYD, the company who was involved, they claim to have no knowledge. And so what we have now is we have a group of people who have suffered this loss. They believe that worldwide the JYD scam affected somewhere between 10 and 12,000 people they scammed.
Wow.
The total amount of losses is estimated to be $712 million. And that this was the fourth or third or fourth such scam discovered, and there's been three or four more. And so now we have an attorney, a company called Mocha, who deals with equities and securities cases, taking all these cases, and we're going to fight against Meta, and we're going to fight against certain other organizations who we believe have some liability in this. Meta, a
I
couple
would be
months.
thinking, Yakov, that the person who dumped all is the person to blame, right? The person who dumped all these shares are the one who is responsible for the scam, kind of. I know there's no direct link, but he's the one who benefited from this dump,
Well,
right?
there's so what we found is amongst some of these pump and dumps, there are the few commonalities in people, and they're out of China and Malaysia. And there happens to be one person here in California we located, a Chinese national who had bought back in early October
Hmm.
the stocks. She bought options at like 40 cents or 20 cents or something like that, 2.7 million shares, and then dumped them instantaneously that same night, called them all and made, obscene amounts of money,
Yeah, of course.
$40 million.
Okay. If you like, what are the lessons learned here? Like, if you are telling people right now, if you're involved in 1 to 3, it looks like a scam from your experience right now. How would
Sure.
people say, like, what are the main things that you see right now that would ring bells if somebody is going through the same experience?
I would be very cautious of small stocks, especially uh, of Chinese companies, because we have limited control over them, and um, there's no way really to track some of the things that are going on their end with compliance. I would steer clear of any WhatsApp group where you can't actually call the person and do a live chat with a mentor, that you can't background check and you can't get references for. And the other thing is, I would steer clear of any buddy telling you hey, this is going to be a 200% gain or 150% gain or guaranteed, and wanting you to
Guaranteed.
liquidate a bunch of your stocks to go into a much higher risky play. The other thing is, stick to your investment kind of strategy and don't, go against your golden rules. One of my golden rules is never invest more than 10% of my portfolio in any stock, and I put 70% of my portfolio into this stock.
And if it's too good to be true, like, what is the first thing I tell people when I go in any of my like free events and stuff, even with my coaching sessions? The first thing I say, do you remember what it is?
What's that?
Please don't trust anything I say. That's how I start the things. Anybody who's speaking with money, you should not be trusting. You should be
Yeah.
thinking that it's a scam till proven otherwise. Because there's a lot of other people. Here's the thing though. One of my friends, he's with me in the university. So he's a smart guy. He's a finance guy. And he came to me and said, Fadi, I have this group. I made money 3 times. You need to come. And the way he was talking with complete belief, pushing me. I tried them. You're making money. You're gonna make money. I went in. These people were operating a little bit differently. They
Mm.
will push you to do like, buy something, and they will demand screenshots. I don't know. I didn't understand why. Uh, because I did not go, I didn't like, there was something not right with them. I did not like the push for the screenshots, and they used to close a WhatsApp group, make another WhatsApp group with like, I don't, so because I was not giving screenshots, I guess I did not pass their IQ test of people like listening to what they're saying. So I didn't
Yeah.
really, was so curious what happens next. Um, yeah. Anything you want to say to the folks? I know it's a hard lesson, but like, what
Yeah.
can you tell to people?
I mean, look, I destroyed my investment. I destroyed my retirement, bottom line. And so it's unfortunate. Luckily, I had done really well prior, and I have a better life than most people who this could happen to. And so thankfully it didn't completely tank my life. But for a lot of people who really are in hard times and really want to make money, this looks like a really appealing kind of thing, and it can really destroy you. And so while it devastated me and my family, we're able to kind of turn around and be okay. But be real cautious. There's a lot of scam artists out there, and honestly, no matter how smart you think you are, there's a scam out there that's probably smarter than you. And you know, invest wisely, at the bottom line.
So again, I want to say, and this is not to take from your experience. I know it's devastating, but the main net worth that you have is you, Yakov. I know it's a big loss.
Yeah,
And I have no doubt that because I see it already that you're standing on your feet again, you're taking, you're much, much more smarter, like you're very prudent with your money. And it's gonna take some time to build that again. Um, Again, I'm not trying to provide any condolences here. It's a really hard lesson. It's a really big loss, but
yeah,
your biggest asset is you to your family. Like, like you're much more important than the money. And I know it seems like catchy phrase, but I actually do believe that. So
yeah,
you gotta get it back, even if you like, it will take a little bit of time, but you gotta get it back. I know because you're a smart guy and you have a lot of experience and you did before and you'll do it again.
yeah.
Um,
I
I
hope
want,
so.
I wanna thank you because this probably needs a lot of courage. And I gave you the option of going up with a blurry face or not being on camera, and you said no. I want to help people by telling them. So I do want to commend you. I want to thank you for telling your story. I'm sure it will prevent a lot of people out there to go through the same thing because these guys are there all the time.
Yeah,
And with AI bots and stuff, they are pretty convincing. Like, how will you beat an AI bot talking about their family at 3 a.m. in the morning? Like, like how will you know that this is not a real person? Because you can actually chat with them. So,
yeah.
Yakov, thank you, thank you, thank you.
No problem.
And it's a matter of time, but you'll get out of this. I know.
Well, thanks, Fadi. And again, to everybody out there, look, use my tale as a really cautionary tale to really make sure you don't fall into the same scam that I fell into. And, the investment world can be a great world and it can allow you a lot of freedom and it can allow you to live a lifestyle that maybe you didn't have prior. But be smart about it. Don't get, too big for your britches. Don't think that something can't come out of left field and catch you because it can. And just safeguard what you have and be cautious.
Yaakov, thank you very much.
Thanks, Fadi.